From having a crazy obsession with women to being one of the most fierce Brazilian footballers, this is the story of crazy Brazilian legend Randy Romario. Our story begins in the fearsome favelas of Rio when Romario was just a young boy and was attacked ferociously all of a sudden by a group of stray dogs. Now, how else do you expect such a man to be? To this day, Romario has completely lost his mind. Maybe it's because the dog bites have damaged his brain as well. Just wait for the moment when Romario went absolutely rogue and literally punched Diego Simeone. You won't believe what happened next. You will be extremely shocked to hear about what he did when he was invited to 1985 Brazil's World Youth Cup squad. He did something extremely shameful and was instantly sent home in disgrace by the management. The coaches literally spotted Romario pissing off the hotel balcony. I mean, that is literally so unethical and disgusting. Can you guys believe that he actually did this? In 1988, Romario did another super crazy thing. He literally married his 17-year-old fiancée, whom he met when she was just 13, on the club's pitch in front of thousands of audience. Just wow, his wedding was literally screened live on Brazilian TV. I mean, isn't it the most dreamy wedding ever? Imagine being there on Brazilian TV, seen by literally everyone on your big day. How cool is that, right? However, despite all of his crazy actions and behavior throughout the year, when the time of the World Cup arrives, Romario literally becomes the star of his country. He has scored more than 700 goals and is among the few players to score 100 goals for 3 different clubs. He also got the title of Player of the Tournament and is also deeply admired by his fans due to this spirit that he has, as it always has helped Brazil to achieve victory. He starts to work extremely hard day and night and tries his best to become the best player on the pitch. He even starts to give coaching advice to the people who have much more knowledge and wisdom than him and are actually some really skilled coaches. Romario got some serious backlashes from the Brazilian legend Pelé for his disrespectful behavior toward the coaches. Pelé angrily told Romario to let the coaches coach. Romario got offended by this comment and furiously responded to it by calling the legendary footballer mentally retarded. Now that is some real beef between the two footballers. The news of beef between Pelé and Romario got viral all over the internet. However, it was not really that unusual to see Romario fight with another footballer, as Romario's relationships with his teammates or other fellow footballers have never been good at all. He literally has beef with more than half of his teammates, and Bebeto is not an exception. Romario behaved very strangely with Bebeto when Gaffer chose him instead of choosing Romario, and it was because of the fact that Bebeto's demands were far less than that of Romario. This made Romario go crazy and furious. He even refused to sit next to Bebeto on the plane. However, the two had a great partnership during the World Cup and were the main reason behind Brazil's glorious victory. Now that is what we call Romario's style, right? Joyful of the victory in the World Cup, Romario decided to reach the heights of craziness and go straight to piss off the mother of all benders. During his time at Barca, Romario got in huge trouble after he had punched Diego Simeone. He was sent off immediately and wasn't allowed to go to Brazil. It was literally the biggest tragedy for Romario, and he kept on begging his boss Johan Cruyff to let him go to Brazil for the carnival. Cruyff agreed to send Romario to Brazil only if he scores twice the other day in the match. Romario entered the pitch, and you won't believe that within 20 minutes he scored 2 goals. It was literally amazing to watch. Romario satisfied the coach's condition and left for the carnival after giving him an eye wink. How crazy is this guy? All things sadly come to an end, but for Romario, instead of sadness, he happily ended his time at Barca. The guy literally samba danced out of Barca and joined Valencia. Pretty savage, right? He loves to party and often gets so high partying that he sleeps for days. He also got confronted by gaffer Claudio Ranieri as he was partying non-stop. Romario, without any hesitation, replied to him by saying, "I'll worry about me, you worry about the team." Despite all the fun stuff and samba dances, real trouble came to Romario's life in the year 1994, when his dad was kidnapped by a gang of terrifying and crazy Rio gangsters who demanded a very heavy amount of £7 million in ransom from the Brazilian legend. Obviously, Romario wanted to save his dad, but he also wanted to save his $7 million at the same time. Now this was a really serious matter and it seemed a bit too hard to deal with. However, quite unexpectedly, it was resolved pretty early with ease, and Romario didn't even have to give the crazy amount of money to the kidnappers. According to his old mates from the favela, the hostage-takers' hideout, and armed police stormed the gangland den to free Romario's dad, and he safely got back to his home. And this way, Romario very quickly dealt with the kidnapping gangland. Romario is also a person who is fond of success and craves media attention all the time. He tries to be a perfectionist all the time and has this urge to be the only hero of his country. He just cannot share his throne with anybody. Quite a while ago, Romario released a crazy rap song with old friend Edmundo which was titled Bad Boys. It was really an awful song. They were both having fun together until one day when the two friends' anger and envy reached the roof. It was a moment of sadness for them both when Eders got picked instead of Romario for the Brazil squad. Imagine how furious Romario would have been at that point. He was literally boiling in rage at that time. However, Eder is not the only player whom Romario is envious of or has hated. He has also had great jealousy towards Ronaldo. Nope, we're not talking about the GOAT here. We are talking about the Brazilian footballer Ronaldo Nazario. When Ronaldo appeared to rise in Brazilian football, Romario got really scared and worried as he knew for sure that Ronaldo would eventually take his spot in Brazilian football. This is why the cruel Romario laid down his wicked plan and convinced the youngster to sneak out from Brazil's training camp with him and go out for a heavy drink before training. His plan was basically to corrupt Ronaldo so that he would give a very poor performance the other day on the pitch and Romario would be the only one shining bright in front of everybody. That's clever, right? Romario dropped the World Cup squad and returned to Rio, where he became more mentally unstable. In 2003, something really shocking happened. An angry Fluminense suddenly entered the training pitch out of nowhere and threw 6 live chickens at Romario right in his face. Romario got so furious that he literally attacked the supporter out of rage for disrespecting him before the cops came and dragged him away. It was a really chaotic and crazy moment, and I don't really consider Romario to be wrong here. I mean, come on, no one tolerates disrespect, right? Things got even more dramatic after the Brazilian champ retired from football. He was elected as the Brazilian senator. He got a lot of hate, as according to people he did not deserve to be the senator. But the thing is that he was just happy being the senator of Brazil. However, his third wife divorced him just right then, and he didn't even get a chance to enjoy his happiness. So he did what we would expect our boy Romario to do. Instead of being sad, Romario literally decided to hook up with a friend of his daughter's who was the 19-year-old American singer Dixie Pratt. Romario might have given up on his love for football, but he had never given up on his obsession with women. That's crazy, right? Romario didn't even hesitate to marry a girl who is literally more than half his age. I mean, that girl literally wasn't even born when Romario had won the World Cup. Romario has always been in the news because of his crazy relationships. He has firstly married thrice and then hooked up with a 19-year-old. He has always been in the news for being involved in many other unofficial relationships. However, we do not know anything about his relationships for sure and can't really tell you guys about the girls he has been involved with. However, we do know that he has hooked up with several other girls and gives the same advice to his youngsters too. Romario is very thoughtful of the future generation and always advised the young players to focus on their game and work hard to make their country proud and successful. Alright guys, so that was the crazy story of Brazilian legend Randy Romario. Catch you guys in the next one.